Be the change. I think sometimes the biggest challenge, maybe one of the bigger challenge, is to be the change is going to be that we work so hard, most of us, we work so hard our whole life to fit in and to be a part of everything, and we want to be accepted, and we want to be loved, and we want to be like the other ones so that we fit in and feel good about ourselves and feel like we're good enough. Then all of a sudden, if you're going to start to being the change, then all of a sudden you might be different than the other ones in your group. Maybe you discover some truth that you that is contradictory to the group that you're a part of. Now you're going to have a challenge. Are you going to listen to your own internal voice? Are you going to keep developing and keep learning and bringing yourself out? Or are you going to conform back into the rules of the group that you're in? And I completely understand people who just want to stay within the group that they're in. It's safe, it is comfortable, and it's safe. And then safety sometimes can also become like, a prison. Because now maybe the little voice that is telling you something different that you have inside, you have to hold it down because it doesn't match up with the group. And then you push it down, and you push it down, and you push it down. But then eventually a bubble has to burst. A bubble, it cannot hold back forever. And so when the emotions get too strong, you're trying to push it down. And then it keeps coming up. Now maybe instead of speaking out and going against what the other people are saying, maybe now you, instead of doing that, because you don't want to be separate from the group, it's scary, and instead of doing that, you go to the doctor and you say, and then they give you medication maybe so that you can cope with whatever it is that is going on, so that you can continue to be a part of the group, and you can medicate your own voice away so that it doesn't bother you anymore, and you can keep being a part of the group. And I completely get it. It is safe to be feeling a part of. However, if you want freedom, and freedom to be yourself, freedom to explore the emotions that arise, freedom to explore the different ways of seeing things, freedom to explore your mind, freedom to explore different avenues of finding inner stillness, inner peace, finding true joy, really waking up in the morning feeling joyful. Then you might want to be the change. Whatever it is that you would like to see in the world, that's what you want to try and become. Or if you have a dream, I wish that I could do that, but I can't do that. I'm not confident enough. Okay, that's great. Now you have a goal, you have a dream, something that you're passionate about. And perhaps you can dig out that passion a little bit more, and you can be like, right now I might not be confident enough to do it, so it will be very uncomfortable to be there. But if I work on my confidence, then maybe in a while I can get there. Or maybe if I don't, at least I'll be more confident in my life. Esther Abraham Hicks says, we call this discipline the art of allowing. It is the art of allowing the well-being which makes up every particle of that which you are and that's which you come from, to continue to flow through you as you continue to be. Art of allowing. And then if art of allowing, then you're allowing that little voice to speak their mind, and you're allowing those little thingies to come out so that you can explore them. Maybe you discard them and go back to the group, that's okay. Or maybe you listen to it and you be like, you know what, I think that this is more solid than the group, so I'm going to go over here because I want to be get the most out of my existence. Great Spirit, Father God, source of all things, consciousness, the beauty, the joy, the peace, everything. Stuck. You may be stuck because you are overly attached to a method or a piece. Like if you're in a group, you might be stuck in the group because you find this to be the only way to do it. And then it might restrict you in other areas of your life. And then we got this one. Okay. Interesting. So this card is actually doesn't have any explanations on it because you can make your own archetype, which in this case, we'll just leave it. I might take it out for future, but for now, right now, we're just going to leave it. Maybe overly attached to a method or a piece. And so sometimes with the archetypes, like we all have different archetypes. They're like the roles that we play. And so the archetypes, we can get stuck because if you are like considered to be, what is an archetype? A motherly type, then you always have to be that. And then maybe you get stuck because you rather would like to be a little bit more rebellious, or maybe you would like to be a little bit more whatever. And then, but you're stuck into this role that you feel like you have to play it, or you have to be it all the time. And so then you get stuck and you don't get to explore other things in your life. Suppression. Stuck. Suppression. Okay, so suppression, like if you're in a group and then this little voice comes in and you say, no, I don't really want to hear that. Don't really want to know that. I don't really want to think that because now I'm going to be different than the group. And then you suppress it. So that's one way I can think of right on the top of my head that we are suppressing things. Another way might be suppressing old emotions, hurts, stuff like that that has come up in your life. And you're suppressing it because you feel like you don't want to deal with it. And or then we got riches. Sometimes it takes courage to stand your ground against other people who may think that they know everything that there is to know. And they have to believe that way, because if they don't, then, so they get stuck in the way of thinking, and they get stuck there in label land sometimes. And then we got the familiar and the ally. Let's see. I'm a little bit puzzled by this message today. Okay, so I think whatever it is that you feel like you have to be, or like whoever you feel like you have to be, you've always been this kind, generous person, and you've always been this hardworking person. So perhaps these are archetypes that you are embodying, and that you have, I think the archetypes, they become the roles that we play. So we all play roles in society in order for us to work well together. And then sometimes I think we just forget who we are naturally. And so we think we become the roles, and that's who we think we have to be. And then I think this card here might be, you can discard anything that you thought you had to be. And you can discard it, and you can find yourself being a nobody. No roles. No nothing, just being. Being in a moment. Meditation, being. And focusing on finding that stillness, finding yourself without having to be anybody else, so you can get unstuck. If you're completely attached to a way that you have to do things, or just a certain way, a certain routine, a certain structure that you always have to have it the same way, then perhaps it's time to Maybe you don't have to spend all of your free time doing charity. Maybe you don't have to be volunteering every time they ask for a volunteer. You're always the first one. Yeah, I'll do it. And then you'll be tired. You'll be, there's things that you might wanted to do that you wanted to spend your time to doing because it's meaningful to you and it brings passion into your life. It brings joy to your life, brings peace into your life, but you stop doing those things because now you feel obligated, or you feel like you have to keep on being this role that is always doing all the charity, always volunteering, everything. And I love volunteer work, I love charity, it's great, but sometimes you have to get out of the roles that you are in just in order to find your true voice, and then you can split the time up more evenly so you can do the things that you are passionate about and also be that good person, or you can do things that really just you're curious about, and then you can still be that to take some of your time to do these good things and good deeds for people around you. And also sometimes this is a card, Eight of Pentacles, of hard work and diligent and dedicating your time yourself to what you believe in. Sometimes we be running around believing in things that because the good old group is believing in those things. And so instead of dedicating the time and dedicating your energy and everything on what you feel like you could manifest in this world and that you believe in it and all that, instead of doing that, you kind of put it to the side and you go back to your role that you have, and then you stay stuck wherever it is that you are. And then so we got suppression, which suppression is it shows up in so many forms. And this figure in this little card here is literally tied up in knots. And so the figure is literally tied up in knots. The light shines within, but he has repressed his own vitality, trying to meet so many demands and expectations. The group, it can be your family group, it can be a bigger group, it can be whatever kind of work group, or wherever you be with more than one person, more than yourself, you're in a group. And so his light shines, but he has repressed his own vitality, trying to meet so many demands and expectations. He has given up all his own power and vision in return for being accepted by the very same forces that have imprisoned him. So you give up everything to be a part of a group, and now you feel prisoned there, and you gave up everything to be with them, to be accepted by them. The danger of suppressing one's natural energy in this way is apparent in the cracks of a volcanic eruption about to take place around the edges of the image. So this is someone about to blow up, like literally. We all know how this works, I'm sure. Like, yeah, you're trying to be patient and you're trying to give them the benefit of the doubt and you're trying to be all that, and then all of a sudden you're just blowing off because you're suppressing the annoyance, the anger, the irritation, whatever comes along the road, you suppress it, and then you just smile and put on that polite face, or like the right thing to do kind of role, the good volunteer, the always nice person, all that stuff, and then you suppress how you really feel about these things. And this suppression is it's asking to find a healing outlet for this potential explosion. It's essential to find a way to release whatever tensions and stresses might be building up inside of you right now. Beat on a pillow, jump up and down, go outside in the wilderness and scream at the empty air, empty sky, or anything to shake up your energy and allow it to circulate freely. Don't wait for the catastrophe to happen. And whatever you decide, trust in the outcome. So make a decision, the Two of Swords. Make a decision to allow everything within yourself to be a part of who you are. And that's the beginning of freedom. And then we got the Strength card. Thinking, and this is so suppressing the emotions. So suppressing the emotions. Basically, the Strength card is when it's right side up, upside right, or whatever. When it is in balance, when your inner strength is in balance, you know that you can handle all the emotion. You allow them to flow freely, and you understand that you can make a decision without being completely emotionally engaged or emotionally outward with it. You can hold your emotions and you can feel them, but you can also function still. And making a decision to allowing your inner, because this is telling a story of someone who is not doing that. They are trying to be nice, and then even if it hurts your feelings or if it makes you feel a certain way, you don't talk about it, you don't say it, you just allow it to be there and build up slowly but surely. And so whatever you decide, trust in the outcome. So maybe you just decide that, you know what, I'm not going to suppress all these emotions anymore. I'm going to allow them to come out freely, and I'm going to encourage it. Actually, maybe I'm going to try and have it happen just to see what it feels like. And so yeah, it's art of allowing, right? Art of allowing, and suppression is the opposite of allowing. Now you're keeping a lid on it. You got your emotion, you stuck a lid on it, and you're going to stuff it there. You're going to hold it, you're going to stay stuck, because most of your time you just have to hold the lid on so you don't explode or you don't blow up. And you can see it sometimes on people. They get all tense. They all tense in their expressions, and they're all like tensed up, and when they move they're like, and then you can kind of tell they almost looks like if you poke them, they're gonna like poof, inflate, or like they might just blow up and inflate a little bit with that. But so whatever you decide, trust in the outcome. Trust in the outcome. Whatever decision you make, just do something. Make a decision, do something, and just do it. Because it can't be wrong. It's just a decision. And then if it works out, great. And if it doesn't work out, then make another decision. And then if it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, great. Then make another decision. And that's how we go. That's how we live. And that's how we learn. And riches. So we got riches. From rags to riches. When the riches card appears in a reading, it usually points towards the successful conclusion of a financial arrangement or deal. So perhaps you got a raise, or perhaps you got into, you needed a service from someone. Maybe you're providing your service to someone, and you come into a good deal, like a win-win. You both feel satisfied, given and taken. It's an equal feeling of getting the worth. And it says the stock market, dealing with government or organizations, involvement in politics, and receiving an honor of some kind. And you know, the stock market, that would be a group. Dealings with government would be a group. Like organizations, all kinds of different organizations would be groups. Politics, groups. Politics. Yeah, politics is a group. And in politics, you have to put on a certain persona, certain role. You have to play a certain role, otherwise you'd be chewed up and spit out, and you can't be there. But that's one group. And then you got other groups. But there are groups, and the things that you sometimes discard within yourself, like politics, maybe like empathy, maybe like compromises, compassion, loyalty, integrity. Maybe that was the first one, integrity. Like the things that you let go of to have to be a part of this group, to be accepted by the group. Those are the same things that are going to keep you in prison and keep you stuck. And it's also going to be the thing that is going to make you suppress a whole big part of yourself. And you are not going to allow the art of allowing. The art of allowing is in need of allowing and free and suppression. You know, the lid, the keeping it in there, the knowing, the taking decision, trusting in the outcome, allowing the emotions to be what they are, and also trusting that you have the capacity to stand your ground, to stand within it. You're not going to fall apart. You're not going to die. You're not going to get hurt. You're not going to pass out. None of this. It's going to be okay. And just practicing dealing with it so that you can respond to the situation, but you can also react and you can take your reactions where it feels appropriate instead of exploding in the midair. So the riches, making decisions without pressure, taking a leap of faith, making a decision, also not suppressing what is coming up within you. If you have this little voice within you saying that I can't really agree with all this, like there's something in me that is not okay with what is happening right now, then maybe you make a choice to listen to that little voice and allow it to take you where it wants to take you, and make decisions without pressure. Like if you can make that decision, if you cannot make that decision, there's a whole lot of pressure in the group around you that you cannot make that decision. There's a whole pressure there. And if you allow yourself to have integrity and stand your ground and make the decisions without pressure, and take action and make decisions without pressure. And the Nine of Wands is also a card that says that you know that you can be strong for however long you need to be strong. And that's a beautiful message. I am strong for as long as I need to be strong. And we all are. And sometimes being the change can be something that will take you out of the familiar, which we have the familiar card, an ally. And sometimes you might have to go outside of the group and find some other people who can encourage you or can support you in what you are saying. And you can find your allies in a different way. Friendships are highlighted, and allies to your cause. And don't be afraid to ask for what you need. And love is your greatest. Love is your greatest ally. Also know that when you allow the love in your heart to be your greatest ally and see it in other people, you are going to intimidate and annoy and irritate a whole lot of people because, and I'm laughing because it's funny a little bit, but so suppression. So here you come, you meet the person with a lid on it. They put a lid on their heart a long time ago because it was very hurtful to be in the heart place. Can be very hurtful to be in emotional twirling like whirlwind that this world can be. So here you are with your open heart and your compassion and love and all that, and then you meet the lid person, and the lid person, they're going to not like you because now you're reminding them of what they put the lid on it. So it has nothing to do with you, the rejection, or however they react to you, but it has everything to do with what they don't want to allow, to the art of allowing to let it flow freely. So then they get stuck, suppressing everything. And then you can always make a choice to reverse it, to take it out, so that you can now be your own person and find your own voice. And that's when life really starts to be exciting. And the beautiful light in me, it honors, it respects, and it loves the same beautiful light in you. Until next time, namaste.